I am not a Smash player you ever saw live on stream battling out a close match with a true professional for a top place finish. No, I'm the guy that got 9th place, right outside the top 8 finish. I am the guy that reached the grand finals multiple times for online tournaments, but never actually won anything. I am the guy that once got 23rd place in a tournament of 1,000 players. Pretty good, but never good enough to actually matter. No, I was never able to actually become a true professional Smash player like I wanted to, but for many, many years, I really tried to. Back in 2018, my wife and I bought a Switch with a new Super Smash Bros. Game, Smash Ultimate. We'd play the franchise all our lives, and she can actually still kick my ass in the N64 version, and we couldn't wait to start this new game. We bought it December 2018, and I played and practiced online pretty much every single day until I entered my first in-person tournament 2 months later in February 2019. There were about 60 entrants, and my first match I lost to an incredibly tough Pichu player. And losing my first game was honestly very discouraging, although he later got 3rd place, so he was pretty good, so okay. But then I won my next 5 matches in a row. I finished 9th place, right outside top 8, where I actually would have won like 20 bucks or something. For the next 3 years, I was absolutely hooked on this game. I put in hundreds and hundreds of hours. I watched my replays, I took notes, I hired multiple professional Smash players as coaches. I entered dozens and dozens of online tournaments and in-person tournaments across my career. I wanted to be a professional Smash player so bad, and I would have done anything to get there. It didn't work out that way, but I'm so glad it didn't work out the way I was hoping. Here's why I stopped trying to be a professional Smash player and why it was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. One quick thing, I love making you all video essays, and I'm willing to bet, hopefully, that I've created other videos that you'll also like. So click that subscribe button if you want YouTube to show you more of my videos. All right, back to the video. Growing up, I'd say a lot of kids probably had the dream to become a professional gamer. When I was growing up, the term we used was an MLG, a Major League Gamer. That mystical and painfully cruel class of gamers that were good enough to be called a professional, where every day they played their favorite video game and destroyed anyone foolish enough to attempt to beat them and got bajillion dollars for doing it. These players, my friends and I were all convinced, were the absolute peak of coolness a gamer could ever aspire to, and we all imagine ourselves doing the same thing someday. For me, the only game I could have ever gone pro with was probably Super Smash Bros. Growing up, I'd always been that one guy in the friend group who was the best at Smash, which left me foolishly, but perhaps forgivably, under the impression that, yeah, I was capable of going pro because, hey, I can beat all my friends, right? Smash Ultimate was the game that showed me just how bad I really was at Smash. Sure, all throughout Smash 4, I'd beaten anyone I ever played, but it was all just casual. Just friends at our houses screwing around, not really actual students of the game. I became a student of Smash Ultimate, and quickly realized that as good as I thought I had been for all those years playing Smash Melee and the Wii U one and whatever, I was actually trash. But that if I really wanted to, I actually could get really damn good at Smash Ultimate, which I did. Like I said, I was a man on a mission. Professional bodybuilders go to the gym every day. I booted up Smash Ultimate Online Ranked every day. I took pages and pages of notes. I learned what the term frame data meant. I started thinking in terms like whiff punish and ledge options, and I was practicing reverse aerial back airs and angled up Bs at a shield and becoming intimate with all the lingo, tips, tricks, and tech within this one game. I loved tournaments, and I'd sometimes enter 3 or 4 different online ones in the same afternoon, switching between tabs on my computer to update my wins and losses, plenty of losses. I was motivated. I worked for myself as a writer at the time, I had no kids, and I was in the unique position where I could just play Smash several hours a day, which I did. I got better and better, and I was eventually consistently making it into top place finishes for every tournament I entered in. Top 8, top 4, grand finals, getting 23rd place out of a tournament of over 1,200 entrants in an official online Nintendo tournament, back when Nintendo even acknowledged competitive Smash, something that I'll talk about later. I honestly felt I was close, so close to maybe being able to break into the top 20 ranking in my region. I knew I'd probably never be a top 10 player in the world or anything, but I could at least be a top 10 player in my region maybe, perhaps even becoming a professional streamer or content creator for this game. I followed every professional player. I watched their streams, their tier videos, their matchup guides. I entered major tournaments and saw these professionals live up close, and I felt it would soon be my turn. Smash Ultimate was so popular, selling tens of millions of copies and getting an enormous flood of players into this franchise, many for the first time. Sometimes my wife and I will be out with our coworkers or friends, and someone would bring up that they played Smash, and I'd always swell with pride when my wife said, "Yeah, my husband is actually really, really good. He's like really good." Thanks, babes. But the thing about becoming a professional Smash player, and even just a professional video gamer, is that your competition is always extremely overwhelmingly high. Not just with the caliber and skill of other players who also have the same goal, but the number of people who also have the same goal. As good as I got, there was always someone better. Like I said, I hired several professional Smash players to help me improve my game and give me coaching services, and whenever I played against them, and these were people who were in the top 5, top 10 in the world, I quickly realized how unequivocally better these people were at the game than me. No question. I'd go to tournaments in SoCal, which has had a famously deep pool of talent for Smash, and I'd win and win and win until I played against a real pro. Even just an up-and-coming semi-pro who just completely kicked my ass and make me realize just how much farther I'd have to go to be able to compete with someone at that skill level. Right around the 2-year mark of me playing this game and trying to be a professional, my wife got pregnant with our first child. And I kind of knew that then my days of trying to be a professional Smash player were numbered. I'd gone 24 straight months basically of practicing, traveling to tournaments, analyzing my game, and striving to achieve my goal, get sponsored, but the cracks were starting to show. I have to admit, I'm not proud of it, but there was lots of times I'd throw my controller because I was so mad I lost one time. Or I'd often resort to complaining about how the reason I lost wasn't because I sucked, it was because that character was broken, or the online netcode sucked, or my character just needed more buffs. All the trademark excuses of a salty player who just couldn't admit they weren't good enough. Which I wasn't. I was beginning to realize that I just wasn't good enough to become a professional Smash player. One of the best videos I've ever seen about this is from the professional Mortal Kombat player gamertag McChillin, who actually was a professional who made it on stream in major tournaments. In his beautiful and heartbreaking video titled Confessions of a Failed Pro Gamer, link in the description, he recounts how much time he put into being the best at these games, sacrificing friends and school and relationships and mental health, and to fight so hard for so long and to still never achieve his goals of being the best or even getting that close. For me, this is around the point where I decided to stop trying. That although I tried my best, which was something I was immensely proud of, it was time to move on from Smash. The Smash scene was changing too. For reasons I still can't fathom or understand, there were constant cases of professional and well-known Smash players engaging in sexual misconduct cases, resulting in a barrage of lifetime bans and allegations and court cases with these individuals, many of them players I followed closely online. Another major issue is that, bafflingly, Nintendo just seemed to straight up hate the competitive Smash scene. Every Smash player knows this, but for those of you that don't, Nintendo as a company and Masahiro Sakurai, the creator of Smash, never wanted Super Smash Bros. To be a serious competitive game. They wanted it to be fun, a casual party game that anyone could play, using goofy items and crazy character power-ups, not the simple 7-minute, 3-stock, no items, best of 3 competitive showdown the competitive community insisted on. Nintendo almost never gave any official support for the Smash Ultimate competitive scene. The prize pools for winning, for being the best in the world at one of these massively popular games, was laughably low. Usually a few hundred, a few $1,000. And compare that to the prize pools of games made by developers who actually like their game's competitive scene, like Fortnite or League of Legends or Counter-Strike, where professional players have earned in the tens of millions of dollars. In 2022, Juan Hungrybox de Biedma, perhaps the most well-known Smash content creator and previous EVO champion for Smash Melee, famously went viral after he revealed that he received a measly $75 for getting 5th place in a major Smash tournament. In response, Gonzalo Zero Barrios, the now disgraced but indisputably best player in history of Smash 4, revealed that after winning 56 major tournaments in a row for Smash Bros. 4, he made a grand total of 45 grand. At some point, being a professional gamer means you have enough money to pay your bills, right? And for Smash, this was just virtually never the case, even for the best players in the world. Nintendo would go on to ignominiously shut down small local Smash tournaments, sending out constant cease and desist letters, even pulling Super Smash Bros. From EVO, the largest fighting game tournament in the world, and generally just making it tremendously difficult for any official Smash competitive scene to survive. The attention to the game was diminishing too. In the early days of Smash Ultimate, where everyone wanted to be the best and every active player count was at its peak, professional players, content creators, and streamers were all eating good with ad revenue and sponsorship from the millions of eyeballs on this content. But as the 2020s kind of came and went, over time I watched the view counts, the traffic, and the Twitch numbers for my favorite streamers dwindle from hundreds of thousands to tens of thousands, then a few thousand, then the audience just kind of left altogether. It's been like 4 years since I officially gave up my dream to be a pro Smash player, and I unfollowed pretty much every Smash player I was following. But sometimes I'll look up these creators again and see what they're up to, and sure enough, these professional Smash players, they're still posting about Smash, with pretty low view counts I might add. People just aren't playing the game much anymore. There's still a pretty active Smash scene and lots of newcomers fighting for the top spots, but I can't imagine these professional players are making much revenue with the severely decreased viewership numbers, not to mention the constant threat of Nintendo coming to shut down anything that gets too big. Many professionals are playing different games like Street Fighter and Tekken, and some notable players like Mewtwo King, one of the most famous and iconic Smash players of all time, recently put out a video explaining why he stopped playing Smash Melee. Namely, the sheer amount of negativity and toxicity from the community, and he just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. It seems like the more I see, the more I think about it, my choice to stop trying to be a professional Smash player was one of the best choices I could have made as a gamer. Looking back, I just can't be grateful enough I gave up on this dream. This isn't because Smash Ultimate sucks. I mean, I freaking love this game. I'll still play here and there with family and friends. But now that I'm back in the casual mode, I love just being able to pick up a controller and beat pretty much anyone that plays against me. I mean, I didn't forget all the crap I learned over 3 years of trying to be pro, but I have so much more peace now. As someone who was a full-time content creator in a totally different genre, for many years, it feels really, really good to not have my income directly tied to an algorithm, a changing algorithm, and a dwindling audience interest over a game that frankly has a lifespan that's coming soon. Smash Ultimate, as of right now, has been out for over 6 years, and I'm sure Nintendo will eventually release a new one. And what will happen with all my Smash Ultimate knowledge then? What if I was a Smash Ultimate Pro? I'd have to learn everything all over again. Case in point, Arslan Ash Siddiq was the indisputed #1 best Tekken 7 player in history, winning just about every major tournament against every major competitor, getting first place in pretty much anything he joined. Tekken 8 just came out, which is freaking awesome by the way. If you like Smash, you're gonna love Tekken, just check it out. And Arslan Ash, again, #1 Tekken 7 player in the world, just entered his first major Tekken 8 tournament, and he got 33rd place. 33rd. This dude was the best in the world at Tekken 7, and even he has to relearn everything to stay competitive with new installments in his franchise. Honestly, I'm just glad I can enjoy these games from a distance now, where I'm not constantly pushing myself to improve, to be the best, to achieve these sky-high goals I'd set for myself. I'm so much happier just making these videos and just talking about these games, rather than trying to be the best all the time and put all my time and effort into something that will eventually end probably sooner rather than later. Nowadays, I am a very happy and grateful gamer dad. I have 2 beautiful young kids with my lovely wife. I love cooking, and true to my competitive streak, I'm preparing to enter some official baking and barbecue competitions. Nowadays, I'm buying cookbooks instead of Smash coaching services. I play a ton of games. I mean, not a ton, I have 2 young kids, so there's not as much gaming time nowadays. But I am really in the thick of things when it comes to the current gaming landscape and the best games out right now. I play games with my friends for fun. I play fighting games online like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. I'm pretty serious, but not that serious. I just beat Prince of Persia. I just bought Final Fantasy 6 for the first time. I'm teaching my kids how to play games like Bluey and Peppa Pig. I love my life now. And look, I think you can love your life too if you're a professional Smash player or whatever. But for me, I saw that this path just wasn't what I thought it was. With the complete lack of support from Nintendo, the endless mountain to climb to be the best, the constant grind of practicing, getting better, learning to overcome devastating losses that make you question why you're even trying. I mean, it's freaking tough, dude. And my hat goes off to professional Smash players who are still on the grind nowadays in 2024, pumping out content to an audience that's a tiny fraction of what it used to be. Look, I'll always love Smash. I'm gonna buy the new Smash whenever it comes out. I'll show it to my kids and hopefully they'll love it as much as my wife and I did and still do. I mean, their dad liked it enough to seriously consider making a career out of this one game. But ultimately, pun definitely intended, I realized I'm happier to just relax with these games. Look, I'm in my 30s, you know? I have 2 young kids I love, and they're gonna need a really good present father, which is obviously far more important than in any video game. And look, I love the fact that I can pick up a controller, boot up Smash Ultimate, and beat the crap out of anybody, just about anybody, who tries to play me. It's a fun skill to have in my back pocket. Still, there are plenty of other games to play, and I'm intent on playing as many games as I can in my life. I have other and different dreams now, like, I wonder how far I can go as a chef. Maybe making it even farther in the professional cooking space that I did in Smash? Nope, just kidding, that's impossible, I'm not gonna try. Look, I want to read more books, travel with my family, and achieve more goals I have outside of video games. And as much as I truly, absolutely adored Smash Ultimate for all those years, I'm really, really glad I stopped trying to be a professional Smash player. Thanks for watching. And if you want to watch more videos like this, be sure to click that subscribe button.